Hi, I'm Stevie Z, founder and president of Badly Bent Records and Blue Feather Studios. This is the Badly Bent Couch, I guess we're calling it. And I'm here with Badly Bent recording artist, wait for it, Badly Bent recording artist who just released his debut album, In the Beginning.
Saint Vybz.
There we go. Alright, we're just talking about the songs on the album. And now we're going to talk about another of the tribute songs, the first of the 4 tribute songs on the album, Paying Respects.
The 80s.
The 80s. One of the, I guess you could say the first age of hip-hop.
Major age of...
My age of hip-hop. I discovered hip-hop, a buddy of mine at high school bought a Run DMC record, Raising Hell. And that opened up the rabbit hole. And from there on it was just,
it was over.
Yep, it was over. And just quickly, I grew up in Thunder Bay, Ontario, pre-internet. You could not find a lot of hip-hop. You could not find a lot of hip-hop. St. James Stereo in Port Arthur used to carry the imports and stuff, so we used to go there to find the cool albums. And even then it was already cassettes and stuff like that. So, speaking of cassettes, what is that weird sound at the beginning of the song?
If you've heard it, and you don't know...
You're about to if you haven't.
For all you youngins. It's a cassette tape.
It is.
It is what we used to listen to albums on.
This is a cassette tape.
Where's the pen?
Actually, pencil.
Pencil, pen.
I do have a pencil over there, but I'm not walking back again. This is what we used to have to listen on musics on. Musics? There was no such thing as shuffle.
Skip.
And get off my lawn. So that is a cassette tape.
Yep.
So, we touched a little bit on it, but why break up all the different tribute songs? Why not just have one big 10-minute long...
That would just be too long.
Okay.
No one would want to sit there for 10 minutes.
I would.
So would I, definitely. But the reason why I wanted, and we talked about doing that, was because there was the eras. There was the beginning. There was the golden era, which was the 90s. And then there was beyond. But the 80s was the beginning. That's when record labels were saying no, but the artists, the hip-hop artists were saying yes. You know, this is what is going to be big. And then, bang.
And then a couple of students named Rick Rubin and Russell Simmons got together in their dorm room and...
Beastie Boys, LL Cool J were born.
Yep. That was... So, this is one thing I really found interesting when I started working with you. By the way, I produced the album. This is why I'm here. Most hip artists don't want to acknowledge that there are people that came before them. There are people that influence them. I know there's a certain amount of bragging that most hip-hop artists do, which you don't do, which we'll get into later. But why did you want to? I mean, everybody else acts like they are the first and only hip-hop artist that ever lived, and they've never been influenced.
Oh, exactly.
And they try to pretend like nobody else ever existed. So why was it important to you to kind of bring everybody up to speed on your influences and the influences of hip-hop?
Honestly, since 2005, I've been listening to the music, and it's just gone downhill. Lack of a better term. But it went from, say, like this, the 80s, the 90s, where it was, okay, we know where we came from. We know, we know that KRS-One, Run DMC...
Who?
KRS-One.
Never heard of him.
Exactly. Run DMC, Sugar Hill Gang. We know those guys came before us, so now we want to keep that going. We want to keep the history going. We want to keep the culture alive. We want to make this music, but we're still going to remember. And then since 2005, yeah, they may say, oh, yeah, Ice-T. Who?
He's the guy on the reality TV show, right?
Exactly. Cypress Hill, yeah, we know them, but guess what? We're better than them. Well, how can you say you're better than them?
Good point.
And for these kids that want to get into it, do your history.
One of the most valuable lessons my dad ever taught me, actually, and my dad was the one who really influenced me musically, was he said, if you really like somebody, find out who influenced them, and then just work backwards. And I have found most of the most amazing music in my life by just following the people I love backwards.
And that's what I did. That's what I did. I liked a few, and find out what they like.
And it eventually takes you back to Sugar Hill Gang.
Sugar Hill Gang,
Blondie.
Run DMC. Run DMC. Grandmaster
Cooler.
Flash.
Well, you know what? We're not going to name any more names. Just listen to the damn song.
Exactly.
One more question. Each of the Paying Tribute songs has a definite sound to it. Yeah. And this one, very 80s sounding. It sounds like it came off a cassette tape. And we talked about it a little bit at other times, but it was very important to you, I know, when we were recording it, to not just list a bunch of people and facts about them, but actually try to replicate something that sounds like it came out of that era.
Yeah. And
I think this one really, really has that 80s feel, which is why I couldn't really resist adding the cassette tape to the beginning. Definitely. And that was fun to record, actually. Dig out my cassette tapes and.
After how many years?
I actually have a stack over there. We may be issuing an EP on cassette, so maybe. First, I've got to find a batch of them. It'll be a very limited run, and it'll be the Paying Tribute style songs, and then maybe some instrumentals, and maybe a couple original tracks that are only available on cassette.
That's right.
So, anyways, here is Paying Respects from
Saint Vybz. Yo, is this mic on? Remember back in the day, your love was going back to Cali. Mama said knock you out and you was jingling, baby. Run DMC told you walk this way, and all you needed was Adidas shell toes with no laces. Schoolie D, Curtis Blow, and Kumo D, Biz Markie, Ice-T, Eric B, and Rakim. Then it was Public Enemy and NWA, screaming fuck the police and fight the power, bring the noise. Cause all you needed was your boys. Storytelling was a habit, so they left it to rip. Dougie headed fresh with the beatbox sick. Remember Big Daddy Kane and everybody that was there. Remember Sugar Hill Gang, Grandmaster Flash, KRS-One and the BDP, Gangstar, Beastie Boys, and DJ Red Alert. MC Light, Queen Latifah had the women on top. Cause if it wasn't for them, there wouldn't be no us. So to the legends of this game, I'm just paying my respect. Cause your music had a message and the message had a meaning. Yo, your music still lives on. I will always remember you. And everybody, that's real hip hop.